I wanted to talk today about a topic that is very, very dear to my heart. And it's been hi, Michaela. This topic has been very dear to my heart, and for a long, long time, the issue of creation. But lately, it has become more and more as I'm really investigating. Thank you. What it means, and because there's this thing, for example, I realize I'm an artist, I'm a creator, I've always been one. I think the one thing I can tell about myself is that I will also always be one in the future. But hi Coco. But there is one thing that I realized, that when I'm busy creating, although at this time I don't need anybody, I'm content, I don't need friends, my family, I don't need anybody. But when I'm creating, for example, art, or my business, or many other things that we can create, everybody creates in their own field, I realize that doesn't mean that I'm also creating myself, and that it's a very big difference between the two. So lately I've been really investigating them, and that's why I also created this still called Self Magic, because this is how I'm exploring this. So I realized that there are basically two things that explain whether we're creating ourselves or not. But for first, I want to say, if we're not creating ourselves, what is happening then? What is the opposite of creating ourselves? And the opposite of creating ourselves is when we're hiding. Hiding is something, honestly, I never considered was any of my problems. If you would tell me what my problems are, I would never tell you, oh, I'm hiding. It never bothered me. I also was never aware really that I'm doing this. But there are two things into hiding. One is, when you're hiding, you're not expanding. You're not growing. You're not doing anything new for yourself. You're not putting yourself in any new situation, any new position. So picture that. When I'm creating, I'm very content. I'm a creator, okay? That's my nature. Also, as women, this is what we do. We create, even without doing much, just by being able, to bring children to the world, even if we're not doing it actively, okay? We are creators, but when we do that, it's also kind of, I don't need not to hide. It's good to hide. It feels homey to hide. It's every day, it's comforting. Even though it stretches me creatively, it doesn't stretch me in myself. So that's one thing, no expansion. And the second thing is that when you're hiding, you're not connecting. This is the connection with the outer world, okay? This is where the feedback is coming in. This is where what other people want, need, think of what you do can mold what you do. Not to dictate it, but it's like a mirror. When someone sees what you're creating, there is a mirror to what you created. So when we're hiding, we're stopped. Things cannot really evolve. So we may create a lot of art, a lot of things. Some people have huge businesses in this situation, make a lot of money, very successful, very known, but they're still hiding because they're not doing these two things. They're not expanding themselves, and they're not connecting. So if you're not expanding and if you're not connecting, you are hiding. And when you're hiding, you're missing out. And it is your big, big problem. Let me see my notes here. Okay, it's live after all. So anyway, another thing now about this is that unless you stop hiding, you're also hiding from yourself. Which means if you're not creating yourself, you don't know what you can be. You don't know what you can become. You don't know how you can expand. So some people call that to reveal yourself, because we're all, we know by now that many things are already inside of us. So just the truth has to come out. But if it doesn't come out, then it doesn't matter that it's inside. So, you can call that to reveal yourself. But unless you really do that, you don't know what is there. It's like when you're, making a baby. Unless the baby is coming out, you don't know what you're making, right? You know, in the usual dates, you wouldn't even know even if it's a boy or a girl, right? That's like the natural thing. There is a surprise when someone is coming out. Then you see what you made. And even then, you don't really know, right? They grow and then really realize what we made. And even then, not really. So that's a big part of it. And I chose the visual realm to explore this because it's immediately connected. Not only because it's my medium, because I'm an artist, I'm a visual person, but I realize we have 3 creative powers, and there is one specific one of them that is how we create ourselves. And it's really first having to create to see what we're doing. We cannot see it before it's done. So I would like to invite you, saying all that, and that's also the reason why I'm here on Facebook this Friday, because it really is scary and it's totally out of my comfort zone. But you see, this is another new way I'm creating now myself. I'm totally pushing myself out of my comfort zone. You know, I feel I have a message to say, so I'm just saying it. Believe me, that's not my natural state to be live anywhere. Definitely not on Facebook. So I created this new challenge training. It will take 5 days, not all of your life for 5 days, of course, you know, just every day a little something. That I call this turn on your visual power. Because as I told you, as a visual professional, this is my realm, but it's really, I'm going to show you the 3 ways in which you create. And these are not only ways in which you create visual content, which is I'm going to specifically show how you to do, but it's generally the way in which you create. And oh, hi. Thanks for being here, dears. It's really nice to feel I'm not talking to the wall. So I would like to invite you for this. I can tell you that as a creative myself, when I realized the things, it was enlightening. And anyway, any of you have any questions? This is the time to ask. Type away. It's actually nice. I can still see this without wearing glasses from the phone. So it works good. Anyway, so I would really like you to join me on that thing. I will post the link after I finish this little chit chat. Hello, Valentina. There's some new names, but I recognize here and there. And let's do this, because as women, we are creators and we have powers, and we have more powers than we are aware of. We have more powers than we see and that we use. And also, if any of you, I've made a very extensive guide which I called your red hot plan to stop hiding. So if any of you would like it, I just don't want to overput too many links now, just message me or, you know, in the comments, and I will make sure you get it. Because it's all related. It's all related. You know, we have to undo what's not working and figure out what it's we're creating, the new existence of everything. So if there are no questions, you guys are so good. Thank you so much for being here with me, and honestly, as not easy as this thing is to do, I'm really excited. Every time I do it, I'm really excited. I am. And thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you soon. And bye.